Ladies and gentlemen, Sims Nation, welcome to the Positivley Pat Sims Show as Seth figures out how to turn down the MacBook. But, folks...
I could hear it. I was like, wait a minute.
But, folks, welcome to the show. It's a different, kind of going to be a little bit different today, and that's cool. Because we are doing the WWE Wrestlepalooza preview right here and now. And it is the first PLE in the ESPN era. So it's going to be a lot of fun here to predict what's going to happen. But one of the differences between today's show and other shows is we are going to be going break-free. No musical interludes, nothing in between. We're just going to go from one match to the other, and we're going to get through this in a most likely, depending on how much we go off topic, we'll probably keep this much shorter than the normal 4-hour time period that we tend to do, because today is not just Wrestlepalooza on ESPN. As Doc pointed out, it's Batman Day.
Yeah.
So in honor of Batman, let's light up that bat signal. Yeah, that was cheesy.
Lego has been giving us Batman deals on everything.
Right.
Too. We've got so many cool things.
We are having a problem. I need my wife to please go on to WANT and see if there's any sound.
Because it was on this.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not showing anything on the software, the broadcast software. So,
oh, you mean Want Radio?
Yeah, WANT.
Oh,
so,
okay. I was gonna say the YouTube's totally fine. I just accidentally had the video loud this morning.
So yeah, you can hear us talking on YouTube, but really quick, we need to make sure. It looks like Benny's checking as well.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, so
Retro.
let me. Okay, so I just stopped it, and we're going to have to restart here and see if it helps. I don't know why.
It's because everything has been going so well this morning.
No, everything has been fine.
We haven't had any technical difficulties today.
But yeah, for whatever reason.
That's why. The world, remember, every day has to have at least one technical difficulty.
For whatever reason, WANT is not working. It's not getting any audio. So I'm going to have to restart. I'm going to restart the program real quick. Sorry, guys. Bear with me for just a second. I'm sorry about this, but I'm trying to get our broadcast on WANT up and running.
Doc Haywood said, "Happy Batman Day," and I guess Pat's birthday, too.
Yeah.
It's
your birthday, too, but I mean, come on.
Priorities.
It's Batman Day.
Batman is Batman.
Yeah.
Priorities, folks.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I'm having technical difficulties with WANT. So let me first introduce to you guys our co-host, my son, Seth Sims. Welcome to the show.
Hello, as I'm still staring into you because it hasn't changed to me yet.
Right. Yeah, it looks
it's
like...
actually not that bad. It took about a second, so that's not bad.
So
I'm on a pretty good delay.
Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be able to broadcast the WANT this morning.
Oh, no.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But I can't spend a lot of time trying to get that done.
At least it's not the other way around, though. That would have been worse, honestly.
So we're going to be kind of YouTube exclusive this morning. And that's kind of sucks, but you got to do what you got to do. We are still live. We are still here. But yeah, for some reason we were not getting any audio feed. Is it a Want Radio problem? I don't know. It's just that
it could be.
When I pull up it might be the program. But it worked last night with our Warriors Unleashed with Jennifer Thomas.
Yeah.
So I know everything worked fine last night. So whatever happened between last night and this morning, is rough. But anyway, let's keep going with the show. Let's not let it slow us down. I've got my Rhea Ripley Terrifier shirt on. That's awesome. I love this shirt. It's great.
I got my Transformer shirt on.
Doc is wearing himself as usual. Benny, what are we wearing this morning?
I got my Beetlejuice shirt on.
Beetlejuice.
Nice.
I got two Beetlejuices right over here.
There you go.
I got the wedding Beetlejuice and the. I love Beetlejuice. I love both of them. I think they're really good. Man, my wife thinks Diamond is the problem. Diamond happened.
Diamond's the problem.
But
there's no cords going to Want radio.
right. All right, guys. It pulls all of the audio from OBS.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of weird. Like, why would it do well for YouTube but not that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll figure it out, guys.
Me not having sound would be a Diamond problem.
Right. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to let you guys kind of start talking about what your thoughts are just on the WWE coming to ESPN. The Peacock era officially over for PLEs. You can still watch older stuff on Peacock. But what do you think about this transition to ESPN, which is a Disney-owned entity, which means you can watch WWE on Disney Plus. Now, with the ESPN Unlimited package, Seth, we'll start with you. What do you think about this move?
I'm surprised it wasn't already on ESPN. I just assumed that ESPN just had everything sports, and this was kind of in that category. And then it was just it was more normally broadcasted to other places like Netflix or whatever it was on, Peacock or something. I already thought it was there.
No, it is not. All right.
Now it is.
All right. Benny, what do you think about this move?
Well, I'm going to date myself here. So when I first started watching wrestling in 1968 in Long Island, New York, I had a 12-inch Hitachi black and white TV that if I tuned it to Channel 47 WNJU from Newark, New Jersey, and put a clothes hanger on my antenna, wrapped it with aluminum foil, stood on my head, and clicked my feet 3 times saying, I wish, there's no place like home, I might be able to get halfway decent reception. And the only thing that was in English was wrestling. All the commercials and everything were in Spanish. So how great, in 2025 that everybody can watch wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Doc, how about you? Where do you stand on ESPN?
Well, I know this has been a big dream for WWE and WWF for a long time to be recognized by ESPN, to be carried by ESPN. But I have a big problem with WWE spreading their product across so many different streaming services. You got ESPN, you got Netflix, then you got to have cable or YouTube Live or Sling to watch SmackDown. And people were running the numbers, and it's several $100s a month just to be able to watch all of WWE's program. And while I can afford it, I'm the Diamond Doc, a lot of wrestling fans cannot. And to me, wrestling has always been something that's been for the poor and the working class, which is why you can watch PCW Limelight today at noon here on YouTube, absolutely free, thanks to me. But I don't like it because I don't like folks having to spread themselves so thin just to watch wrestling. And WWE is pricing themselves out of the average fan being able to watch live or on TV now.
I think we should probably be a little fair on this one because I would imagine that a lot of that is also TKO. And not just WWE. I know ticket prices, that's TKO. And so I'm sure they're playing a large part in the decisions when it comes to all of this kind of thing. But I was talking with some people about this who brought up the same thing. And there's always follow-up questions because some of the stuff people don't really understand or it's a little complicated because they weren't making it very clear. WWE kind of came out and made it sound like in order to watch the WWE PLEs, you have to have an ESPN Unlimited subscription. That's actually not accurate. If you have ESPN on through your cable provider, you actually have access to WWE's PLE. So if you have that already to watch SmackDown and NXT, then you're good. You're good to go. So, but if you're like me and you don't have cable, because cable is a huge bill, YouTube TV is horribly expensive compared to it used to be the cheaper alternative, and now it's crazy expensive. So because of that, we got the Disney bundle that is Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN, and we got it the ad-free one. And to be fair with what we're paying for that kind of entertainment, it's a darn good deal. But I do see what you're saying, though. It used to be everything was on cable, and then you had your pay-per-views, and WWE just had to sell you on your pay-per-views. And so that brought up my next point. And then I thought about it. I went, wait a minute. So I'm paying X amount for cable, and anybody remember what pay-per-views were $50 or more?
Yeah.
So it's like it almost like evens out if you really look at it. If you really look at the price points here, I mean, let's add inflation into it. It really does kind of level out when you're talking about how much it is to do it. And a lot of that, in all honesty, we have Eric Bischoff to thank, who WWE was running like the 4 big ones with a King of the Ring, which wasn't considered one of the big ones, and a couple of In Your Houses here and there. Bischoff was the one that started adding more pay-per-views, and then finally went the month-to-month route, and WWE just followed suit because, they needed to keep up. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think when you have the larger the platform, I think the more you have an incentive to really get out there and push the product and put on incredible shows. I think Netflix definitely gave Raw. I like how you're just scratching that eye. I think Netflix definitely gave Raw a boost to change things up a little bit, give us a little bit better of a product, in my opinion. I've been watching Raw since it moved to Netflix, and I'll have to say I like the format a lot better over there. I like the storytelling they're doing over there. And so moving to ESPN is a huge, huge move, and I'm pretty sure today's show, Wrestlepalooza, is going to be something spectacular. I don't think it's going to be a mid-level card. I don't think it's going to be a disappointment in any way, shape, or form, because I think everybody, with the way Triple H runs the show over there, very similar to how he used to run NXT back in the day, I think it's all hands on deck today, and it is, we're bringing it. And Seth's going to have to deal with our cat. If you haven't noticed, guys, we moved Seth.
Yes.
So I'm not all cramped and packed over here with him sitting next to me with all my stuff behind him. He is just across from me now in an idea that for some reason I hadn't come up with till today or yesterday. Yeah. But I like it. I can look at Seth, and it does. I'm not like this, which was a little awkward.
It's just this now.
Right. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get into this. So today, September 20th, 2025, Batman Day officially, and which is awesome. I love that. I'm sharing my birthday, my 45th birthday, with the legend that is Batman. And today's show, Wrestlepalooza, it officially starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. There are pre-shows. There's things going on beforehand. But this is taking place at the Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Live streaming on ESPN here in the United States. And for those internationally or cheating the system with a VPN, it is available on Netflix. That was another thing I was a little surprised at. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Doc or Benny, anybody here? Did Netflix even make a play for the PLEs here in the United States?
Don't know.
Not that I've heard.
Yeah, I
Netflix is too focused on K-pop demon hunters. They probably don't care.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I don't know. Maybe WWE didn't really shop it around because maybe that was kind of the deal. Maybe WWE, to be fair, when we're talking about this, maybe they wanted to spread it out across multiple platforms. Because from what I understand, WWE's actually still in talks with Peacock to keep a lot of their older content on Peacock. So they would have a deal with Peacock, ESPN, Netflix. You got cable providers, not cable provider, but you've got the networks that you're making deals with. I mean, financially, they'd be rolling, which is good for TKO considering they're, 3 or 4 billion in debt at the moment. So, and
how did they even do that?
And Netflix, from what I understand, from what my research I've done for Netflix, is potentially in the running to purchase Warner Brothers.
Netflix?
That right now the two largest suitors that are looking at purchasing Warner Brothers are Paramount and Netflix. And Netflix, if they purchase Warner Brothers, that's a big deal because now Netflix has an official actual studio to work with. And for crazy people like me, that it also means that the relationship with the one and only Zack Snyder gets a lot better, and maybe we get to finish our Snyderverse because I'm just insane like that. Hey, I'll tell you what, the one thing I'll say about this before we get into the show, we're going to jump into it here in a second. Warner Brothers has done some good stuff throughout the years.
Yeah.
They've also made a lot of boneheaded errors throughout their history. And I feel like since Harry Potter ended, like seriously, since Harry Potter ended, Warner Brothers has been allergic to money because some of the decisions they make are so bad, right? Like the Zack Snyder's films, the DC films made money. They made a lot of money. Not Marvel money at the time, which is what they wanted, and so they panicked. And so we had the debacle that was Justice League.
Yeah.
And that was all Warner Brothers.
Mm.
And you want to know when Warner Brothers is really good? When they keep their hands off the product. Like the DC animated films, which are epic. And Warner Brothers is like, they're not big theatrical releases, so we're going to be hands off. Doc, you look like you're ready to pounce.
Well, is it just Warner Brothers, though? I mean, Disney after Endgame hasn't really had that many great winners either.
Right.
I mean, no studio has really knocked one out of the park, with the exceptions of Barbie and Oppenheimer, Top Gun Maverick. I mean, those films did really, really well. A lot of people got behind them because they knew who their audience was, and they're okay. Let's give these people what they want. And I don't think the studios really know what people want these days.
Well, Universal seems to be doing all right. I believe was Universal, Seth, was that did they do Minecraft?
Universal do Minecraft?
Yeah, because I mean Minecraft was massive.
I don't know.
That was a huge hit, and I did not see that coming because I mean I get Minecraft's a popular game, but man, I was not sold on that movie.
Most of the stuff I've seen this year and last year has been really good.
Yeah, like Universal basically went, I think people still want to see dinosaurs. And what was the biggest movie of the summer? Well, I was wrong because I thought it was going to be Fantastic Four, and not even close. It was Jurassic World.
Marvel's done great movies, but everyone's just kind of like with what Disney had done already, everyone's just not expecting greatness out of it. So,
well, to be fair, not everything Marvel threw out was great.
True.
There was a lot of cringe coming from Marvel.
Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four were great, though.
I agree. I absolutely agree. All right, let's get into 2025 WWE Wrestlepalooza. Let's start off with the match that I believe, if I remember correctly, is actually starting the show. And that is the Usos versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, the Vision.
It's like
and
last.
It's an interesting little matchup here because the Vision doesn't feel like the Vision right now because Seth Rollins is kind of doing his own thing with Becky Lynch, with CM Punk and AJ Lee, which we'll talk about later. And Braun Breaker and Bronson are with Paul Heyman. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just feels weird that Seth doesn't seem to be part of this little group right now. I don't know if it's just temporarily or if they're actually doing a transition. Doc,
I thought you were talking about me.
Oh, no. Doc, what do you think about this whole deal with the Vision here?
Well, yeah, it's really interesting. One of the main rules in D&D is you don't split the party, and they've split the party. You've got Becky and Seth focused on CM Punk and AJ Lee. Punk's personal vendetta, getting that out of the way, which it feels like he's kind of left the rest of the Vision kind of out in the cold, but you do have the wise man there. Do they need Seth and Becky backing him up? I don't know about that. I think if you got Paul Heyman in your corner, that's all you need.
I get that. My voice is cracking a lot this morning. I get that. I think for me, it was like Seth was like the leader of the group. Paul was the mouthpiece. And then Braun and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were like your muscle for the group, which I just thought there was a lot of potential there. And I thought then bringing Becky in, which our buddy Universal told us that Becky was not, in fact, going to be part of the Vision, which I think is a missed opportunity. I think it's always good to have a female brought in to a group like this to help elevate her and the women's division, whatever you need to do. Use a group like that to just build people up. But, Benny, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the Vision has gotten kind of blurry lately, and I do think that AJ Lee is the wild card here, and that forced the whole dynamic with Punk and AJ versus Rollins and Becky. But I saw something on SmackDown last night that I think will lead to something, down the road, maybe as soon as tonight.
Okay.
Where after Brock Lesnar obliterated Corey Graves, he approached the wise man backstage and said, "We need to talk."
Yeah.
So, are we going to have another member of the Vision?
Or what if it's a takeover? Because I saw that on X last night before going to bed. Yeah, I also saw Brock ripped his pants again.
Again?
Yeah, he shredded his jeans there, but
maybe he should stop wearing jeans.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes up to Paul, he pats him on the chest, he's like, "We got to talk." It's an interesting scenario right now. I think there's a lot of good stories that can be told, and it's again, I think that's what happens when you have a show like this, which is a big. They're plugging it big for ESPN. A lot of stuff going on. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to the show. Seth, what are your thoughts on the Usos versus the Vision and the direction that the Vision is going right now?
I'm not entirely sure about the direction the Vision is going right now because I haven't seen like all those interludes where they're like talking like you have and stuff.
Right. Yeah. You're more of a casual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I know that there's been I don't know about like 7 different tag team matches building up to this moment for each of them. So
yeah.
I think this is definitely a good build up with a lot of tension. So I think it'll be a good match. I'm not sure who can come out on top on this one.
What's your prediction though? Give me your thoughts. Who are you picking?
If I had to pick somebody, I'd say the Usos.
Seth Sims going with the Usos. Doc, let's swing back around to you. Tell us, what is your prediction for this matchup? What do you think, Usos versus the Brawns?
I'm gonna agree with Seth. I think it's gonna be the Usos today. I think they're gonna take it and show some weakness in the Vision. Maybe the Vision needs glasses. I don't know, but time to they need to focus their vision back on the same thing instead of being one eye looking over here and one eye looking over there like Rick Luxury.
All right. Benny, your thoughts here. Interesting takes so far. Benny, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go rogue here. I'm going to pick the Vision, and the reason why is I don't think the Usos have any, they're not a going concern. They're not going to stay as a tag team. We got to keep in mind that Jey Uso, just a few short months ago was a world champion, main event Jey Uso.
Yep.
I think Jimmy's been paired with him just to take the beatings. I see them losing. I see them losing because of interference by LA Knight, and I see the Vision picking up a much needed win.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with you, Benny. My pick was Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I think the Vision needs to get that win that I think a lot of us thought was coming at SummerSlam. And I thought that would have been a big moment for them had they defeated Roman and Jay as Roman was on his way out to go film Street Fighter. But it didn't work out that way. I think this is that moment where they get that win back. And I like the idea here. I have it down here. Do we think that LA Knight's going to make an appearance? And I specifically thought this match, if he does, is where it's going to happen. And they've been teasing a lot of tension between Jimmy and Jay. And I know for me, I don't know about you guys, but after WrestleMania 40, the last thing I want right now is another Jay-Jimmy feud.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the most disappointing matches in that entire WrestleMania. And I think, though, we may get a heel turn from either LA Knight or Jey Uso. But I don't think it's going to lead to Jimmy versus Jay like we did before. I think it's going to lead to Jay versus Knight. And one of those two is going to make another run at the title. That's my thought process on it. Now, I think LA Knight has the attitude to already built in to do a great heel run, whereas I think Jay is still loved by the crowd. And people, people love doing the yeet thing way too much, I think, to mess with that. It ain't broke. You don't got to fix it. Really, it's just getting Jay back up and running again. And a lot of that's on him. The WWE put that machine behind him, and he did come up short a little bit. Not a lot. I thought he had a decent run, but it didn't change the landscape or nothing when it happened. So, all right. So we've got the Usos. We've got our predictions. We're 50-50 on that one. We got 2 for the Us and 2 for the Vision. So let's move on to the next match here, which I've got. I'm just going down the line on mine. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and AJ Lee. Guys, let's be honest here. 10 years ago, did you ever think CM Punk and AJ Lee would both be back in the WWE? And not just that, but in a marquee matchup together. I mean, it's crazy. Benny, give me your thoughts on this. I mean, Punk, we thought had sworn WWE off for life. And AJ being his wife and her issues with WWE, it's kind of shocking to see both of them in the same ring at the same time.
Well, I'm going to date myself one last time here, and I don't think any of you guys were born on November 28th, 1974.
I was
not. The location, Madison Square Garden. I was there to see. It was Thanksgiving night. I was there to see Elton John in concert. Yeah. Well,
you're
it
talking
gets better than that.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
It gets better than that because the host was Murray Kaufman, who was a very popular New York DJ named Murray the K.
Right.
And Murray the K came out and said that we have a special guest. And I'm thinking, who the heck could it be? And it was none other than John Lennon.
Boom.
And I thought that the Madison Square Garden was going to explode.
It was huge
with the the sheer emotion and pandemonium, to steal superstar Billy Graham's word. But when AJ Lee came back in Chicago, it wasn't quite that, but it was pretty damn close.
Yeah, it was. That was a big pop. That was a Road Warrior pop.
Yeah, it was. I think people expected it, but it didn't matter. I mean, the sheer emotion that night was phenomenal.
Now, Benny, I have a follow-up for you, because you bringing up my favorite musical artist of all time in Elton John, and that moment was very, very special. And if you have the deluxe edition of the Here and There album, it's in there, and because it was live, like you said, at Madison Square Garden. Do you know why John Lennon appeared on stage with Elton John?
Well, I know that they performed Whatever Gets You Through the Night, which became a huge hit, and I think they played Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which became a #1 for Elton John, and I think they collaborated on I Saw Her Standing There.
Yes, sir.
But I think it had something to do, my guess is that John and Yoko were estranged, and I think he was reaching out to her somehow.
They were estranged
and
at the time.
I know they reconciled shortly after that.
That's correct. But the reason he actually ended up on stage, there's a little fun fact for you here. When I'm a fan of something, I go all in. So, fun fact. So Elton John worked with John Lennon on Whatever Gets You Through the Night. It's all right. It's all right. And Elton basically told John Lennon this is going to be a hit. It's going to be a #1 hit. And at the time, Elton was the king of getting into the top 40. I mean, he was top 40 he had more years in the top 40 than Elvis consecutive. So they made a bet. And if it got to #1, then John was going to have to get on stage and perform with Elton. And it hit #1, and Elton cashed in on the bet. And that's why. And John is not a fan of live performance. He gets very nervous. At one point during the concert, he even goes, before I go off stage and be sick, which is true. He was kind of terrified of being live, which is crazy to think that one of the Beatles would have been that way. But so Doc, give me your thoughts on AJ Lee, CM Punk being back in the WWE together.
Well, just like in comic books, nobody stays dead forever except for Uncle Ben and Bruce Wayne's parents. So I never count out
the dad.
Alternate universes for sure. You're going to have your Elseworlds, absolutely.
Right.
But yeah, I don't discount anyone ever saying, "Oh, I'm never coming back." I mean, heck, we might even see Ryback back in the WWE.
I would no.
Please no.
Please no.
Please no.
Oh man.
I just want to put that out there in the universe for your birthday, Pat.
Thank you. Well, I know what I'm using my wish for.
What?
Is keeping Ryback away. You just stick with your crappy supplements.
But I miss AJ Lee's run in the WWE when she was first in. So my feelings towards her are ambivalent as it gets. I was like never a huge fan of CM Punk. I enjoy his work, but I'm not like buying the action figures and whatnot. So I mean, I think it's great. It's good for the fans. The fans have wanted it for a long time. The chants in the arenas, the online message boards. So I think it's good for the fans.
Yeah.
I think it's good for the fans. They're getting what they want. They want this last run. So my hope is just that they make it good.
Right. Yeah. And they haven't gotten overly physical. I remember reading I read a thing online where this guy was, one of the dirt sheet guys was talking about how the feud was boring because it's just nothing but talking. And I'm like, sometimes it's good to hold back on the physicality especially in this case, because this should be a brawl. If you're really looking at what this match should end up being, this should be two teams that just want to tear each other to shreds. You've got the history between Punk and Rollins. You've got husband and wife versus husband and wife, as Becky screwed Punk, and now Lee's coming in to take out Becky. I mean, there's so much going on. You don't need to have one of those pull apart brawls and a contract signing to make this exciting. You just need these four to do what they do best, right? And Punk and Rollins and Becky and AJ all brought it on the mic, and they got everybody excited, and you don't have to do much else after that, right? It's like I go back to Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania 27. What did they need to do to sell that match? They had to walk Undertaker out as a returning, and then they had to walk Triple H out returning. Neither one said a word. They looked up at the WrestleMania sign, and boom, everyone wanted to see that match. That was all they did. It's brilliant. And the same thing here. They don't need to have Punk, Rollins, Lynch, and Lee right now, anyways, in where they are in this feud. They don't need them tearing each other apart every Monday Night Raw to sell us on this match. This match was sold the moment AJ Lee made her appearance and her return on SmackDown. That's it. Seth, you have any thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's pretty much just like the new top wrestlers versus the old top wrestlers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
It's
CM Punk's still a top guy.
It's like, what's better, new or nostalgia?
Nostalgia.
Depends.
I'm sticking with nostalgia.
The Minecraft movie was a Warner Bros. Film. F4 will make 50 million profit. Thunderbolts lost 100 million profit. Thunderbolts had good parts too, but many copied parts from other movies, Void, etc., and etc.
Right. No, so Seth's reading from Seth's my live chat guy today.
Yeah.
But make sure you tell us who's talking.
Universal.
Yeah, no, I know, I can see that. But,
no, you can't.
Yeah. So let's start doing our predictions here. So Benny, I'm going to start with you. Where do you see this match going? Any shenanigans going on? Is this going to be I don't think this is going to be the end of this feud. Obviously, this is going to be a long-running feud, but between these four, what do you see for this match tonight?
Yeah, I think this is the easiest one to predict. This is Punk and AJ all the way. But like you said, there's a lot of legs left in this feud. This is going to go on for months, I believe.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have AJ challenging Becky for the Intercontinental Championship, and you're going to have Punk against Rollins. I mean, it's money for months.
Let me ask you this, Benny. Do you think I'm just predicting out here that Punk will have another run with the title before he hangs him up? I don't think he's spending his entire time in WWE without at least, and it doesn't have to be a long run, but I think he's getting the title. After you saw the reactions that people had to Punk winning and then losing the title at SummerSlam, people were heartbroken. My wife was pissed. My wife had another John Cena turned heel moment and had to get out of the room because she was that upset about it. So is CM Punk, I imagine if he's going to win it, it's going to be from Rollins. Is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins where Punk potentially wins? Is that a Royal Rumble or a mid-level pay-per-view, or is that a WrestleMania pay-per-view event?
I would say more like a Royal Rumble, but I do think he has to win it. I think he has to win it from Seth. And I mean, at some point, you have to give the people what they want, and it seems that everybody wants. You don't want CM Punk retiring with his legacy being he was a champion, for 5 minutes. So yeah, I do believe that that's happening sooner rather than later.
Yeah, agreed. Doc, let's hear from you. Your thoughts and predictions on tonight.
Well, I definitely don't think we are going to have a satisfactory ending for either of these parties. I think, like Benny said, Punk and Lee come out on top, but it's going to be a Pyrrhic victory. It's going to leave things unfinished. So, I mean, if I had this feud, I'd take it out to Orland and just milk it like the rest of the cows out there, because it's got money written all over it, like Benny said. So make it a schmoz finish, some kind of interference, something happens, uh, leave the fans unsettled so that they want more. Yeah, give them the AJ Lee and CM Punk victory, but have something happen that's gonna drag this out a lot more.
What you mentioned there kind of reminded me, if we want to go back in time a little bit, how to keep a feud going like that. And I think of Undertaker versus Kane at WrestleMania 14. Undertaker versus Kane, knockdown, drag out, big man fight, and it was good. I think it's a good Kane-Undertaker, good big man matchup. Taker comes out on top, but immediately following, Kane and Paul Bearer attack Undertaker, take him out with a chair, thus giving the fans what they wanted, which was the Undertaker victory, but also letting them know this ain't over. So yeah, that's a very good call there, Seth. Your predictions for this matchup?
I feel like it has to be CM Punk versus winning. CM Punk and AJ Lee winning, not versus AJ Lee.
Yeah, there you go. That's a way to go. Husband versus wife.
That'll
match.
be on divorce court.
Right. Yeah.
It's actually CM Punk and Seth Rollins versus
Seth about to
AJ
ignite
Lee
another
and
Me
Becky
Too movement with that one. I agree. I think we're all on the same page. I think this is one of those that's going to, like, I when we get to the main event, I think that's going to really let us all know why we think. I think this is going to be that feel-good moment for the fans, but maybe just temporarily, like what Doc said.
Well, I feel like, what's the point of what if they lose? Then what's the point of this match? Like, what are they trying to build up to if they lose?
Well, but see, that's the beauty of pro wrestling. Like, you look at just even a smaller promotion that I've put over many times, right? PCW and Limelight. They are very reminiscent, in my opinion, of world-class championship wrestling, and that to me is a compliment. That's not me saying anything other than this is really fun. I love the way they tell stories. I love the way their characters are presented, and that's what makes wrestling so much fun. If the characters are done well, which that's partly the wrestlers themselves, and it's partly the creative team, and if the storylines are well thought out and not just being like the famous thing used to be that Vince would come in, especially you're talking about like some of the bad years, like 2019, stuff like that. Vince would come in, see what the plans were, and just rip them up and go start over. Like every show. I mean, that was the word that was getting out of what was happening. And that doesn't seem to be the case as much anymore with WWE. I feel like they do a much better job of long-term planning and storytelling. And when things happen, they seem to be able to pivot pretty well thus far. Now, nobody's perfect, and WWE's no exemption. They have plenty of flaws, plenty of things that they can do better. I'm not going to say they're not. But yeah, I think what I like is when something happens, if I don't like it, I don't freak out. Like, I try to calm my wife down when she gets upset because I made her a fan of WWE by watching all the time, and then WrestleMania 40 solidified it. The Cody Rhodes finishing the story. For those of you in the business who might not have thought it was that big of a moment, Go show that to someone who doesn't love wrestling and watch them change their perspective because it was that fun and entertaining and emotional. And, she takes a lot of stuff personal. I'm like, okay, I didn't like that, but let's see where this goes. Let's see what the next part of the story is.
Let's see. Universal says that he's not sharing spoilers or predictions, but there will be surprises. And then he says it was a bet.
Right. So he's gone back and he's catching up.
Yeah.
So he's at the Elton John portion of the show.
Yeah.
We now know where
it was
where Universal is.
Actually, no. What you were talking about was the bet.
Yeah.
That
right.
was the bet.
The Punk versus AJ Lee. That's a bet.
That was a bet.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next matchup, one that I am super excited for from a technical standpoint, from a wrestling standpoint.
Wrong.
What did your mother say? Hold on. What did your mother say in the chat? Why are you chatting? You're right here. You have a
It's
microphone.
absolutely personal. As soon as I become a fan, it's been one letdown after another. The no. You said the no.
No.
You said the no. Look
They
at your
know.
chat. I'm going to read it how it is.
Yeah, she was not happy with the John Cena heel turn, the John Cena win at WrestleMania, and she was not happy with CM Punk getting the losing the title to Seth on the Money in the Bank cash-in.
What?
On delayed, busy here at the moment. Yeah, Universal, no worries, brother. We get it. We get it. Where it's busy here too. That's why we're doing no breaks today. We got a lot going on for those. Doc knows because Doc said he ain't coming. We got Party Central over here. When this show is over, whatever time that is, it could be 8 o'clock, it could be 9 o'clock. Whenever we end the show,
we've already gotten through 2 matches, and it's 6:40, 50, 6:50.
So
took us.
Well, anyway, after the show's over, I'm going to be working out, get my workouts done for the day, and then heading straight down to the pool where we're going to spend about 4 hours down at the pool having fun, partying, and then we're going to come back up here, and we got a lot of cool stuff that we can do up here. I've never done a murder mystery thing before, and I have one. And we've never done it. So that's one of the things I want to do today. I want to do an office-style murder mystery.
Man, now I'm really bummed because I did want to come down. I'm like 10 hours away from you.
Right.
But that darn Zach Reeb has been causing so many problems here in PCW that I've been having to hold the fort down, keep the show running, because that bald knucklehead is just running amok, kicking referees and his friends in the face. It's getting wild out here in PCW.
Before we jump to our next match, it's plug time for everybody. Doc, give us another plug for PCW Limelight. Yeah. Well, not you.
Aww.
You don't have anything to plug. But
yeah,
also,
well, it's not
Doc,
for money, but I have information.
Doc has a great, awesome album available right now on streaming platforms. No, it's true. Why are you laughing?
Two now.
Because you were saying this and Universal went ZZZZZZ.
Thanks, Universal. You are my favorite commenter. This shirt, it's for you.
Oh, man.
Smell like food stamps. Available on the Haywood Underground. Yeah, PCW coming up today at noon Pacific here on YouTube, youtube.com/PCW NorCal. Little tongue-tied early in the morning. But yeah, things have been getting wild in PCW. We are building, you talk about Undertaker and Kane. We are building towards the 7-foot-tall, 500-pound last spectacle in pro wrestling, Bad News Blakesley, taking on the 6'4", 375-pound DDPY Warrior, also the Nightmare Sin. This is going to be 2 big, meaty men tearing the tar out of each other October 4th. And the best thing about it is I have been planning this for 5 years since I came into PCW. I made this match happen not Zach Reeb. He's been trying to keep it from happening for a while, but I've used some manipulation, some mind control techniques, and we are going to have the biggest match in PCW history October 4th at the Orville Convention Center.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Didn't mean
Oh
to
my
do
gosh.
that.
So surprised.
Hold
Had
on.
to take up the whole screen. He was like, wow, that's a big match.
That's amazing. I do want to see that. I'm looking forward to that. Did you talk about your album yet?
Oh, yeah. I've got 2 albums now. Diamond Summer came out during the summertime, but now it is villain season. Find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Prime, wherever you stream music. It's 13 hip-hop tracks. Doc Haywood dropping villainous bars on the folks in PCW. Little tributes to folks like Lex Luthor, Carnage, King Kong. So if you're a wrestling fan and a comic book fan and a hip-hop fan, this is going to meet you right where you live.
Awesome. All right, Benny, you're very active on WA&T and YouTube and all that fun stuff. Let us know about what you got coming up.
Yes, sir. Every Monday night at 7 Eastern Time, True Crime with the Bad Girl, the Playa, and the Stars, which can be seen on the Playa Entertainment Network on YouTube. Also, Want Radio live Wednesday, When It Was Real, which is a wrestling show devoted to the 1970s with my co-host Nikita Breshnikov, 7 o'clock, also live on Want. On Thursday on YouTube, I do a live show, 7:05, Classic Pro Wrestling with the WFIA, which you can hear on Want on Fridays at 7:05. And then finally, every Sunday at 3 o'clock, Benny the Jet, my alter ego, playing the oldies on Want Radio. Actually, today, though, I'll be doing a show at 3 o'clock because my New York Jets are playing the Tampa Bay Bucks here tomorrow. And it's not going to be good for the Jets, but still got to cheer them on.
Now, didn't you had a pretty cool show this past week for where you had like Tony Gurria on?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that one real quick.
The three amigos. So we had, besides Nikita and myself, we had WWE Hall of Famer Johnny Rodz.
Yeah.
We had 5-time tag team champion Tony Gurria, and we had Irish Davey O'Hannon. What a show. 1 hour and 58 minutes of these guys telling stories, and just loving on each other as old friends from, over a half century. And, my biggest take on it was that 5 of us were combined 372 years old. And in a 2-hour podcast, nobody had to take a pee break.
Yeah. That's pretty good. All right, guys, let's get on to our next matchup here. It's the one I said I was probably, from a wrestling standpoint, looking the most forward to. And it wasn't all that long ago when you couldn't make that claim about women's matches. But when you had the emergence of Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Sasha Banks, and all of them changing the face of women's wrestling in WWE, this matchup is what you get down the line that gets you really amped and excited. And we've had some great women's matches over the last year or so. You've had WrestleMania with the triple threat, Bianca Belair and my gal right here, Rhea Ripley, versus Io Sky. Then you had Rhea and Io versus the why can't I not think of her name at the moment? Naomi. There we go. Every now and then my brain shuts off. And this matchup here I'm super excited for. I am a big fan of both of them, and that is Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicare. Seth, what, if anything, do you know about this matchup that you can tell us?
Stephanie Vicare one? Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicare.
Because Steph's new to WWE.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let me go through my notes real quick. Let's see. So first, we have Naomi with the title. Then Io Sky challenged her before the pregnancy. And then Stephanie
Naomi's,
won.
by the way.
Yes, Naomi's. Stephanie won the Battle Royale at WWE Evolution. And now they have both of them have their own momentum towards this match. That's what I know. What do you...
Oh, because your mother.
I'm the chat reader. I can read what. I
Okay,
can read what my
go
mom
ahead and read
says.
what your mother just wrote then.
Your brain's been shutting off a lot lately. Welcome to 45.
It did. It did yesterday, like multiple times.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. So Stephanie earned the right to get the title shot. I believe it was supposed to be at SummerSlam.
Something like that.
But because of Naomi's pregnancy, that got put on hold. Or no, not SummerSlam. My bad. It would have been at the last pay-per-view, which was Clash in Paris.
Let's see. This was. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because this one was after the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So.
But I think this is a better spotlight.
Yeah.
For this matchup and for Stephanie Vicare going for the title. It's an interesting matchup here because you got Io Sky, who was the champ, and I thought did a much better job than I thought she would as the champ. They kept trying to put her off to the side like it was, this was about Bianca and Rhea, and then this was about Rhea and Naomi, but Io held her own. And then some every time. And I thought she did a great job. All right, Doc, your thoughts on Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicare.
Well, this one not really on my radar until the other day when I saw a clip of Io running into the ring to help save another competitor, and her and Stephanie had a face off, and I was a little surprised at how over Io was.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I saw her in a match was that triple threat match with Rhea Ripley, and of course Rhea going to be the big fan favorite. But when you take Rhea out of the picture, then you can see how popular Io is on her own and how she compares to other wrestlers. And so I was pretty surprised getting to see her get that shine there. So good for her that she's moving up the ranks, and we'll see what this match does for her career and for the newcomer Stephanie Vicare.
Yeah. And, I mean, speaking of Rhea, like I said, I got this shirt last weekend. I love it because I'm a big fan of the Terrifier, and I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan. So combining those two is great for me. But Rhea, I don't know what the numbers are, but I would put Rhea's popularity up there with anybody in WWE right now. She doesn't have to do anything. It's very reminiscent of some of the pops you'd see in the Attitude Era, where guys would just show up. They didn't have to do anything. They just showed them on screen, and the fans would go crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting with Rhea. But Io Sky and Stephanie Vicare are very good. I mean, not to take anything away from Rhea. They're very good in the ring, and they both have gotten over despite some issues. Like Stephanie came in hot and then kind of went away, which is a problem with the WWE does have, where guys come in, they get hot, and then they kind of back off, and then they try to bring them back later. But Io, again, against odds, has gotten very over, and organically got over. She was not that long ago. She was a heel with and shoot, see, here we go again. Off
45.
Yeah, thank you.
Asked happened 45
but
times
what
today.
it was Damage Control.
Oh.
Shoot, Damage Control was a heel group.
Right.
And one of the interesting things about this matchup, and Benny, I'm going to ask you if you have any thoughts on it, and what role the Kabuki Warriors might play in this matchup. Benny, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with everything you said about Io Sky. She's very quietly evolved into one of the most popular stars on the roster, and I think she's phenomenal. I think this is going to be a great match. I guess we're not doing predictions yet, correct?
Not yet, no.
No.
Okay, but yeah, there will absolutely be interference, I believe, from, and I'm going to say specifically Asuka.
Yep.
I'm not even going to include Kairi Sane in that. But yeah, they will. Kabuki Warriors will definitely have an influence on the match.
Yeah, so the whole build up here it kind of like the best analogy I can give, and I don't give good analogies, but the best analogy I can give is Io Sky and Asuka are two parents on the verge of divorce, and Kairi Sane is the kid that's caught in the middle. Like, she's so upset about every time they fight. Kairi's kind of in the background, like, just looking like she's about to burst into tears.
Very conflicted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they, like, swerve on it, too, because right now, what the obvious thing is pointing to is Asuka turning on Io. But what if the turn was Kairi? Like, would that be effective? Is there a way to make that effective? Benny, what do you think about that?
I'm a huge Asuka fan, and I believe that they have like tremendously, and I know she's been injured.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've really utilized her to her peak capacity. That lady is one hell of a performer in the ring.
Yep.
To me, she's the best overall, like in terms of actual wrestling ability. And I think, an Io Asuka feud has money written all over it, especially with Io's popularity.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just throwing it out there. Throwing some little scenarios when they pop into the old noggin here. All right, Seth, what are your predictions for Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicare?
I think Io Sky's going to win.
And become the champ.
Yeah. But am I going crazy, or is Stephanie looking in two directions that are both upwards?
She has the Superman flight look.
Like, she's... yeah. Like, one's going this way and the other one's going this way, but they're both upwards. But, like, you're not looking that way or that way. It's like this.
Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicare, brought to you by James Gunn's cinematographer. Yeah, I'm throwing some shots out there. I don't care. All right, Doc.
Snyder, bro.
Yeah, hey, and proud of it. All right, Doc, your thoughts, your predictions on this matchup.
I'm gonna give this one to Stephanie Vicare. I think the money's in the chase and the money's in the feud with Io and Asuka. So have a smodge, have Asuka cost Io the championship. Rip that divide even further and make money off of that, and then throw a baby face at Stephanie Vicare to have a feud with and get her up.
Babyface? I thought Stephanie was a babyface.
I don't watch WWE hardly ever, except for the clips or Botchamania. So I'm just trying to guess who the heel and the babyface is. She looks like a heel with all the face paint and stuff.
Yeah, they're both of this is babyface versus babyface here.
Mm-hmm.
I think
which I hate.
I think no matter who wins, I think the crowd will be fine with whoever wins, because we're not in a place where it's not like we're in Io's hometown. We're not in Stephanie's hometown, so I don't think the fans are going to be too upset either way. Benny, your thoughts, your predictions for this matchup?
Well, given her short time in the WWE, it may not seem fair, but I'm going to go with Stephanie Vicare. And
that rhymed.
With Rhea always lurking in the background, you cannot forget about Rhea Ripley. And I do see that happening in the near future, and that's going to be money as well.
Oh, for sure. Stephanie versus Rhea, I think, could main event a WrestleMania night 1, night 2.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's big money if you do it right. And I agree with a lot of what's being. I mean, I'm with Stephanie. I think Stephanie wins this one. I think Vicare becomes the champ, because I think the Io Sky Asuka storyline doesn't need the title to draw people, to get them excited. I think they can make that work without it. And I think you put the title on Stephanie, who's already a star and a rising star. I think you catapult her to the next level. And it's basically like a test, the way that the Money in the Bank for a lot of guys was a test to see if you could hang with the main event scene. Some guys can, some guys can't. And I think this is going to be a big test for Stephanie when she wins, because I'm calling it, when she wins the title tonight.
Yeah.
So we got some chat stuff going
Yeah.
on. What do you want to tell me?
It says, Doc, disease were not for you. Don't worry. It was for AJ Lee. And your PCW is a must-see.
Boom. Look at that. Big
Oh,
props.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Universal.
Yep.
Thank you so much. That's high praise. I appreciate that.
And the reason he's giving the Z's for AJ is he liked the crazy version of AJ Lee, the out of control, mental basket case that she was, not this version. But I think that was one of her issues with WWE at the time, was the pushing the crazy character. And she wasn't overly comfortable with that particular character. So it's not surprising to me that she's not coming back as that particular character. And and right now, like I said, it's very early. I was just more excited just to see AJ at all and have her be in the WWE with Punk and all that stuff. Just kind of dreams coming true.
Yeah.
Here for me. So I really didn't need her to be anything more than she has been thus far.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next matchup. We've only got 2 matches left
I know.
in this card.
Which
means
I know one of them, but I forget what the
Everyone's
other one
going to
is.
get paid their full rate, but they're just, it's going to be a short show. I know everyone's excited about that, right? Their full rate of and Seth got a raise recently. He's now making nothing.
Me.
Which is, you're now making absolute zero, which is a raise from zero.
True.
I actually cut Doc's pay though.
I'm still getting paid for this. Actually, the way I get paid whatever I do, I'm still making money right now.
I thought you were going to be like, because of our friendship, I am rich.
Oh no.
Yeah, look at
I'm
Doc's.
rich because I actually have money and property.
Oh, wait, Doc, what's that like?
Oh, it's like being free. I mean, Dallas will tell you having money is about freedom and being able to do what you want and when you want. And boy, howdy, do I love it. But it's the only way I could do PCW. So I'm giving back to the plebs with my time by editing PCW for free, appearing on YouTube at noon, and then also entertaining you folks for free.
But
I'm magnanimous.
I'm hoping that a lot of our Sims Nation, when they tune into these shows, because we get a decent amount tuning into these preview shows.
We've got 11 right now.
No, we have 14 right now.
Well, no, now we have 7.
But that's just who's on at the moment. We've had over 170 people tune in thus far.
Well, we had like 20-something at some point.
And so my hope is that when we have people on and they plug their stuff, like Doc likes to do, more than anybody else on the show, that people tune in. Like, I would love to hear that since being on here, that Doc can come to me and go, hey, you know what? Our YouTube numbers are a little bit better since coming on the Positively Pat Sims Show.
I believe we've gotten a bump from the Positively Pat Sims Show for sure. And if you folks watch us, let us know in the comments on PCW Limelight.
Right. PCW giving away free money every Saturday at noon. So tune in.
Doc Haywood giving away free money. Zach Reed wouldn't give away free money if his life depended on it. He still makes you buy tickets to go to the live event, which is great. Please buy the tickets, but I give you stuff for free. I'm a better person than him.
WCW didn't make me pay for tickets.
Universal says Anthony or Tony Guerrera should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
100%.
Yep. And maybe not even just for what he did in the ring, which is worthy of a Hall of Fame. What he's done outside of the ring for other wrestlers, training the next generation of stars, he deserves a Hall of Fame spot. Benny, what do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, five-time WWE, when it meant something. You know, tag teams really don't mean a whole lot now. But back in the day when Tony was wrestling, tag team wrestling was very significant.
Yep.
And the tag team titles were very meaningful. And the guy was a 5-time champion with 4 different partners. Absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. And
You know what I realized?
What's that?
You moved me over here so I couldn't touch the soundboard.
I didn't think of that, but thank you for pointing that out. I'm even happier you're over there.
No.
So, yesterday morning, we had a special honest review, and I reviewed the 1990 Survivor Series.
Oh.
And it did remind me a lot of how great tag team wrestling used to be. I mean, I watched this thing, and I was reminded of, the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, the Demolition, which I think it doesn't get the love that they deserve.
Yep.
There was Power and Glory in this show, which was so much fun to watch. Hercules and Paul Roma. The Rockers.
Hercules.
I mean, the Rockers, Piper loved to call them the tag team of the 90s in 1990. And by 91, they were done. So it didn't exactly work out as the tag team of the 90s. But my favorite.
It was tag team of the 90.
Right. In WWE, at least, my favorite tag team of that era was the Hart Foundation. Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret the Hitman Hart. And that's what, you don't see that kind of thing anymore. And there was, for as much as people want to give Vince flack about things, the tag team division was really, really good. And I think that the way that WWE is structured now, it's hard. It's going to be very hard to ever really have a really strong tag team division because they spend a lot of time on individual segments, more so than they ever used to, which works great for the stories they're telling. But you watch Monday Night Raw, and you don't see a lot of people on Raw anymore. You'll see your opening segment might have 3 or 4 people, and they're in their feud. And that lasts 30 minutes. And then you have a match, and that'll go 30 minutes, which is great. I love the fact they're doing longer matches and stuff on Raw. But it's just a different time. The New Day should have been leading the charge as the heel tag team champs. And they didn't do anything with them. And they're doing more with them now after they've lost the titles with their whole deal about them being in mourning, which I love it. I love that. But they were mostly just sitting in on commentary when they had the titles. So, yeah. All right, but the next matchup on our list today is for the WWE. I don't know why they still call it the Undisputed Championship, but it's the WWE.
Because it keeps changing.
The WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre.
Wow.
Seth, what do your notes say about this matchup?
So I didn't even know there was like a thing like this was a thing until I had to look it up. So apparently, I've missed multiple street fights and SmackDowns between them that lead up to this moment, which apparently
because we don't have SmackDown, we can't watch.
True,
SmackDown.
we can't watch that. But still, I missed the street fight. But I guess this is, which makes this feel less like a champ and a challenger match and more like a rival match almost.
Oh, just a rivalry?
Yeah.
Like, it's not about the title.
It's not about the title. It's
about just about 2 guys hating each other.
Yeah.
Right. I get you there. Doc, what are your thoughts on this one?
I want to see Drew win this so badly because I feel ever since the pandemic era and that stupid Thunderdome stuff, the guy got screwed out of his WrestleMania moment, out of his title run with the belt, getting to have the fans cheer him and put him over. Felt terrible for the guy. He loses the belt in the worst way. I want to see him get the belt in front of the fans, even if they're booing him as a heel. I want Drew to have his moment. And if it's at the expense of Cody Rhodes, so be it.
Interesting. Benny, tell us, are you agree with Doc or are you going another direction?
Well, I got to start by quoting the late, great George Carlin. If it's undisputed, what's all the fighting about? But yeah, I pretty much agree with everything that Doc said. I mean, Drew has done such great work that how do you root against him? The guy's phenomenal, and I think this is not only going to be the match of the night. This is going to be a match of the year candidate.
Wow. That's strong words from Benny. I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm not giving my prediction yet, but I'll say this.
You should give your prediction before me.
Okay, then I'll give it now. I'm saying Cody's gonna win it.
My chat picked perfectly.
Why?
Because I'm on your account, so I chat under your name. I said Drew can drool. Cody rocks.
Nice, Seth.
I predicted your prediction.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I agree to an extent with you guys about Drew. Now, the moment that Drew eliminated Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble, my buddy Greg and I were watching, and Greg turned to me and he said, a star has been made. Drew was always a good hand, but he was never a top guy. And that moment made Drew McIntyre a main event player. It was so well done. And then, like you said, COVID hit. We had a WrestleMania with no fans. Drew won the title. It was a great moment, but it wasn't the moment we all wanted because there was no one there to celebrate it with him. And Drew would tell you it was great winning the title, but it was missing that element. It felt hollow. And Drew right now is doing some of his best character work ever. Mm-hmm. You can't. That's what's undisputed. Is Drew is doing amazing. He really is. However, I want to see Drew have the moment that he deserves as the babyface, not as the heel. And now I also want to see him I would love to see a good heel champion like Roman was. Mm-hmm. Roman was kind of a tweener in a sense, though, because you had fans that would, no matter what, they fell in love with the tribal chief, and they would cheer him, right? And Roman would always do something to get you to boo him, but he was kind of a tweener. Drew, I think, would be a great dominant heel champion, but is it going to be this soon after Cody wins the title back from John Cena? And I want to see Drew do this get his moment where it deserved to be in the first place, in front of an audience in the biggest event that the company has to offer, which is WrestleMania. So I think it's a little bit too soon to pull the title off of Cody again. Cody is a workhorse. Even though he's shooting Street Fighter, he's still around. He hasn't left. He is a consummate champion, and I think that's something that you need. I also like if one of the world champs is a heel, the other one can be the babyface, give you two different dynamics for the shows. So that's just me, though. And yes, what does Universal have to say, my good friend?
So he says he agrees with Doc. Snyder for sure. Exciting news about DC coming soon. Not good news for Gunn's future.
Well, I wonder if he's thinking of what we talked about earlier, which is the potential of Netflix purchasing Warner Brothers. Netflix has a really strong relationship with Zack Snyder, but this is about WWE Wrestlepalooza.
Hey, I'm the chat guy. I have to read the chats no matter what it is.
Before we get to the main event, I have a couple of...
Doesn't mean you can make me say weird things.
I have a couple of things here that I wrote at the bottom, and we already talked about LA Knight making a potential appearance on the show. We've talked about Asuka getting involved in their matchup. So my question is, there's a lot of big names that are not involved in tonight's PLE. Could we see any of these guys on the show? And namely, I'm going to start with the biggest name who just had a big movie come out, and so that, of course, is The Rock.
Yeah,
is there an opportunity for The Rock to make an appearance potentially to start a feud with a newly turned babyface John Cena, maybe leading to one of his final matches? Could it be something having to do with Brock Lesnar or whatever you want to throw out there? So predictions. Do we see The Rock, and why? Seth, what do you think?
I don't know if we see him tonight or not, but I feel like the idea of a John Cena versus The Rock match is like that's kind of needed after John Cena went back to babyface.
If we get full-on final boss Rock, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like that has to be a guarantee.
Yeah, but Rock can't come in and do what he did on the first episode of Netflix, where he's playing to the crowd while still kind of pretending like he's the final boss. No.
Yeah.
We need full-on heel. I'm going to be cursing you out on Instagram. Rock. Final boss Rock. All right, Doc, what do you think about The Rock making an appearance? This is the first ESPN show, after all. He was there for the first Netflix show. What do you think about the idea of The Rock showing up tonight?
It's a big show. A big possibility, but is it going to be in some kind of action capacity? I don't know. You know, those online pictures of The Rock circulating with him looking all skinny and sickly.
Yeah,
because he's preparing for some role. I mean,
yeah, he lost 60 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yep,
that's a lot. That's hard on the body at that age. So I don't know if he's in a position to go out there and work, losing 60 pounds. That muscle's going to protect you when you take those bumps and those spills.
Yep.
One of the big reasons I'm not in the ring is because I'm still using the power cuffs to build up the back muscles so that I could take a bump.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, somebody's off the sauce.
I am.
I'm meaning The Rock.
No, I am.
Doc's on the sauce.
Yeah.
Hot sauce.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Look at that. Look
power
at those
cuffs.
Look at those
power
guns.
cuff sauce. Let's show it. Look. This is the first time in my life I've got a cut.
There we go.
This is power cuffs right here, baby. And I got to say, they work. Dallas doesn't pay me to put them over, but I do it every PCW show.
Yep. Yeah, I put a thing up yesterday, video that my family did videos of me.
You were lifting some good iron too, brother. What'd you have on those adjustable weights? Just out of curiosity for me.
So, and I remember this is on my shoulder, by the way. So, for flat bench press, I was doing 40s. For shoulder presses, I was doing 25s. 17 and a half for one-armed lateral raises.
Ooh.
And the biceps were 25s for incline curls, 20 for spider curls, and my barbell one, which is bands, I do 100 for the barbell curls.
You are a monster because I'm doing 5s, 8s, and 10s. I did a test I had Sin come over and test out the power cuffs.
Right.
And he's a big guy. And so we started him off with 10s and he had to go down to 5s by the time we were done. And so you pushing that kind of weight, props to you. You're a warrior, brother.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I did what Dallas always tells you to do. I made it my own. I don't rush anything. I don't do that 30-second thing, 1-minute thing, because that helped me build a lot of endurance in the muscle. But then I got into a muscle building phase where I really wanted to add size and density. And I've added over 2 inches since my shoulder replacement in terms of muscle mass for my arms. And so my reps are very purposeful, deliberate, slow eccentric movement, explosive concentric movement. So and then a lot of high reps for legs, because I don't have a lot of heavy weight. Like, I work out at home. You guys saw my video that I'm at home, so I don't have a big barbell to put 500 pounds on like when I was in high school. I was squatting 500 to 600 pounds in high school. But I can't do that now. So I just have to grab what weight I have and just do tons of reps.
Mm-hmm.
Just go till the legs are just mush. And then it's like, okay, now I'm done. Now I rest and I let them heal and do their thing. Calves I have a lot of fun with, though. Calves are cool. By like the 20th rep, they feel like they're about to explode and pop out of my thing. All right, guys, let's get to the final matchup here. We're probably going to end the show at about 8 o'clock, and I'm good with that. A 2-hour show is still really, really good. So let's jump into it. Let me find it here. There it is. Boom. John Cena in his farewell tour takes on a guy I had zero faith would ever be back. At least anytime soon. I wouldn't say ever. But maybe at least until all the legal stuff was over with. Maybe once the Vince McMahon trial was over, maybe he can come back. But apparently WWE Legal looked into it and were like, yeah, he's good. Let's bring him in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just that was the last chat he did.
Yeah, I already read that.
But yeah, I was not, and I would love to know your guys' thought on Lesnar coming back here. I mean, the crowd went crazy. You would never have known that this was a controversial figure making their way back into WWE when he made his return. And all of his pops since, which I always think is kind of the issue with live crowds. And when you're there, when you're watching on television and Brock Lesnar shows up, you're like, whoa. But then at the same time, you're like, oh. But when you're in the live crowd, you're so caught up in the energy and the moment. You could care less at that moment what this person may or may not have done. You're just happy to be there in that moment. Seth, you were there when we were watching and Brock made his return. What do you think about Brock's return?
I kind of forgot about him until that moment. Like, I knew him, but it was like, wait, who's this guy? And then you're like, it's Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, oh, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I lost my crap.
Yeah.
That was the last person I thought was going to be coming out at that moment. But, I mean, I'm a different era than you. Brock, maybe not as...
I'm the cooler era.
Well, I mean, Brock's been a big part of getting Roman over as for a while. But, I mean, I got to see Brock in his prime. And when he walked away, I also got to see his worst match with Goldberg at Wrestlemania 20. That was a train wreck. Had some really cool power moments in it, but the crowd hijacked that match. It had no chance. They could have put on a 5-star Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle match, and it still would have got crapped out of the building. But, Benny, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this return from Brock Lesnar? And it's kind of how it's being viewed by people in general. How do you view this one?
Well, the guy is larger than life. What can you say? He's gotten these pops how many times that every time he comes back, 10 years from now, what is he, 47 maybe, 46, 47?
Yeah.
He'll come back 10 years from now, and I think he'll still get the same pop. But I like the way that they are building him, and especially, after what happened last night on SmackDown with Corey Graves and Michael Cole. I mean, they really are making him into this monster heel, which, he can do it either way. That's one great thing about Brock. He can play a great babyface or, a very dominant heel.
Yeah. And you want to talk about a monster. I don't think Brock's ever been bigger in terms physically. The dude is huge right now. I mean, massive. I mean, and he hasn't even he hasn't taken his shirt off or nothing yet. He's ripped his pants and everything. But I mean, his shoulders look like cannonballs. They're massive. So it's just, I mean, whatever he's doing on the farm, he must be working out with his daughter because she's huge. And I think she just recently set like a shot put record, I think, for NCAA. What are you doing? Stop it.
It's ripped my pants from SpongeBob.
Oh,
but
my God.
Doc, I'm putting Lesnar instead
Doc,
of SpongeBob.
rescue me here. What are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar, buddy?
Well, what do you do
I have an idea.
with people who have problems outside of the locker room? And we've had that problem in PCW where someone gets allegations thrown against them.
Doc,
Someone
be
did
careful.
Something on.
We know you're talking about you, and the litigation's still ongoing. You can only say so much.
Oh, I'm squeaky clean, brother. All that's been expunged by the government.
Oh, good. I'm
been
glad that got
expunged by
taken
the
care
government. Yeah, don't worry.
But you have problematic people in the locker room that make the company look bad. What do you do with them?
What?
Obviously, you got to let them go, which is a hard thing to do. That being said, you got to let the law kind of take its course. We live in a country where you're guilty until proven innocent. And I'm a person who's all about second chances. There have been times where I've advocated people who've left the company, said they changed. They demonstrated some kind of change where I said, hey, let's bring this guy back. Let's let him work. Sometimes it's gone well. Most times it has not, where the leopard doesn't change its spots. My hope is that WWE legal just roto-rooted this thing, said the allegations don't bear any water, and we should just, kind of trust the process. Man hasn't been convicted of anything. A lot of rumors and speculation and stuff. We may have seen what we've seen. I don't know. I'm not in the courtroom. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not WWE's legal.
Right.
WWE obviously says, hey, this guy is worth the risk that it's going to do to our company, potentially having him in here with these rumors. Let's roll the dice.
Right.
And let's hope it doesn't wind up with egg on their face.
Switching gears here to John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for our panel this morning. And the time-honored tradition, as they say in professional wrestling, is that you go out by putting someone else over. They say you go out on your back, right? Is John Cena going to be an exception to that rule? Or should he be an exception to that rule? I'm going to start with Seth. This might get some conversation stirring here, depending on the answers here. Seth, what do you think?
I'm not sure.
You don't know?
This one I didn't have research to go off of.
Well, no, but you know John Cena.
True.
You know how big John Cena is. You know everything he's done for WWE. He's now doing Hollywood stuff. He's the record setter for Make-A-Wish.
True.
If he wants to go out as a winner in his last match, does he get that? Should he get that? What do you think?
I think it depends on what his last match is.
It's a good point. What if his last match was The Rock?
If it's a huge
putting over The Rock doesn't help anybody.
If it's a huge title match, then I don't think he should win it, because I feel like that's just because that was kind of like the heel thing.
Right.
But if it's if he already has the title, then being a title match and him losing, then
he won't have the title.
No. But I meant or any title, if he has any sort of title.
I think they're going to keep it off him.
If it's a title match and he doesn't have the title at the start, I don't think he needs to win it. And then any sort of title match, even if he has it at the start, I think he should give it away. So as long as it's not a title match, I think he should win.
Okay. I do like that you were like, it depends, because that is true. Like I said, if he's facing The Rock, putting over The Rock doesn't really elevate The Rock any higher, doesn't do him any favors. So I think it is all going to kind of depend on who that final opponent ends up being. You look like an old lady. doing a Nazi salute. Stop it. Benny.
Well, Universal said something. That's why.
Go ahead with Universal.
So apparently, Drew and Cody have only had one televised match. The rest were all dark matches.
Fun. Good times.
Yeah.
I said not to do that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Benny. Let's go to Benny. And I want your thoughts on John Cena. How should John Cena leave as an active wrestler? Should he get the opportunity to go out on the way he wants, which could be either, putting someone over or going over himself? What do you think?
I think John Cena has earned the right to go out any which way he pleases. And keep in mind, though, what did he go 7 years without winning a singles match on TV?
Yeah, he went a while. Yeah.
Wow.
He went crazy. A long while. So I just see him picking up wins. I think, whoever his last match is, it's got to be built that whoever that person is, they can take the loss and still, remain strong with it. But I think he's going out on top.
All right. Doc, what do you think?
Well, when you think retirement matches, you're obviously going to think of Flair versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh.
So you're always going to have that in the back of your mind and say, how can we do this different but better?
Right.
Can we make something as memorable as this moment? Shawn Michaels, tear in his eyes. I'm sorry, it's super kicking Flair in the face. Can you get better than that?
Oh.
Can Cena get better than that? Can Cena perform a match that is an emotional roller coaster like that? Can Cena give us that? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if Cena can give us that. With a win, are we going to go out and go, yeah? If he loses, are we going to have? I just don't know that. That it's going to even touch that Flair retirement match. And so I'm racking my brain to think, how could they even get close to that?
Right. Well, Cena, as good of an actor as he might be, cannot cry on command like Ric Flair can. I mean, Ric Flair was bawling before Michaels even hit him with the super kick. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing I really want from Cena is, if this is it, right, let it be it. I'm tired. Nobody ever comes back after retiring and does anything of note. I mean, I would love to be proven wrong, but Shawn Michaels comes back for Saudi, and that match was a train wreck. You had Ric Flair going to TNA, and then he does his last match thing where he almost dies.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it was ridiculous. It was the one. Whoever thought that was a good idea should never be allowed to promote wrestling.
Should get a raise.
That was horrible. But yeah, you see guys retire and then they come out of retirement because they need the money, because they missed the spotlight. I think John is leaving after a really good amount of time in WWE where he's done everything he wanted to do. And I think that he's enjoying what he's doing in Hollywood now with Peacemaker and those other things. So I just hope he can, if he shows up in WWE, it's just to appear.
Yeah.
Say hello. It's not to get involved.
Like what The Undertaker does or something. Like
right.
The interviews and like what do you think of this and stuff?
Exactly. Just he doesn't have to start a podcast or nothing. But all right.
John Cena.
So now let's talk about this match here. John Cena versus Brock. These two have met multiple times. When Brock first returned, a little history lesson here. When Brock first returned from UFC, his first opponent was John Cena. They had some of the best pull-apart brawls during that time period. And then they get to, I believe it was Extreme Rules. And shockingly, John Cena wins and beats the returning Brock Lesnar. And then I think he got hurt, and then he ended up leaving. So it wasn't really good decision-making all around there.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand giving Brock a loss right out the gate. But then we get later down the line, we get to a SummerSlam, and it's Brock versus John Cena again. And Brock dominates John Cena. The Suplex City is born, and it's belly to back over and over and over and over.
Wow.
Cena got like nothing in, and Brock dominated and won the title. It was putting Brock up on that pedestal that they were trying to get him to, and it was after that when you would see WrestleMania 30 where Brock beats, or I think it might have been before. I can't think off the top of my head if that Cena versus Brock at SummerSlam was before WrestleMania or after. I want to say it may have been, it was before, and then he beat Taker and beat the streak, which I could do a whole show on that.
We know.
I have thoughts. But now we're in a different situation. Now we've got both of these guys are veterans of the game. They're both up there in age. John Cena is on his way out. Brock, we never knew was going to be back in, at least not for the time being. So there's a lot of question marks about this. Who gets the win here? Why
Lesnar.
does this person get the win? Is there a connection between Brock and Paul Heyman that we're going to get more information on tonight? Like we mentioned earlier, could The Rock show up just to make his presence known? Because I don't think he's going to get into any altercations, but we mentioned The Rock could show up just to open the show. The Rock could be there to distract John Cena. Anything could happen. I think this match, to me, is one of the most unpredictable matches of the show. I basically chose who I thought was going to win based on which guy I liked better. That's literally how I had to make my decision. So I made it more with my heart than my mind, because my mind is going
all day.
It's not malfunctioning. It's going a million different directions, because I just really don't know what's going to happen here. So, Benny, I want to start with you. What are your thoughts on this matchup with John Cena versus Brock? And don't have to give me your prediction just yet, but what do you think about all of this and the possibilities of it?
Well, I mean, you have so many possibilities. Cena has, 6 more appearances?
Right.
Brock is just coming back. Again, I go back to what happened on SmackDown last night. One with Brock obliterating Corey Graves with 2 F5s, and then the backstage moment with the Oracle or the Wise Man. We have to talk. So I think those were teasers for tonight.
Yep, absolutely. It's, man, like the more I hear other people talk about stuff, though, it's like my brain keeps swirling. Like right now, after what Benny said, it feels like Brock should be the guy going over, because it looks like he's getting more substantial stories to tell, whereas John Cena is just going through his farewell tour of opponents. Since dropping the heel character in the title, he's no longer really telling stories as much as just revisiting old rivals, and which is what he was doing with the title. But they tried to make it a heel story, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Doc, your thoughts on this one?
Well, yeah, like Benny said, it looks like they've got something in the mix with Brock going down the road. And if that's the case, you would want to make Brock look strong. You would want to have him come out strong out the gate. But at the same time, yeah, there's a lot of variables in this. John Cena's farewell tour. Do you let him have a dominating win to get back the Suplex City bit that Cena referenced that on Raw Monday? You don't just drop that to drop it. So yeah, this is a weird one to try and predict. Always in motion is the future. I gotta tap into the living force and see what's going on. But yeah, I I think maybe you give this one to Brock Lesnar and drag out what you can do with this guy. Maybe let him circle back at the next appearance and give John a win. So yeah, I think Brock might take this one.
So Doc's prediction is Brock Lesnar. Seth, give us your thoughts on this matchup, and go ahead and give us your prediction while you're at it.
So I thought that I already think that Brock Lesnar was going to win because I feel like you can give John Cena a more... I feel like if Brock Lesnar wins, then it gives Cena's character something to go after, which would be beating Brock Lesnar, which could end up being his final match if they kind of stretch out the story. But Universal said that Dwayne's next movie doesn't begin until November, which does give him a chance to make an appearance tonight. So if that does anything, I think that also would set up Cena to lose anyways. So I think Brock Lesnar has pretty high chances of winning and would help the story a lot with Cena, whether it's going against The Rock or going against Brock Lesnar in a future match. So I definitely think Brock Lesnar is going to win.
We have 2 votes for Brock. All right, Benny, your prediction on this one.
Well, despite my earlier comments, I think all of that was a tease, with Brock F5 and Corey Graves. And then Michael Cole made it a point to reference the squash match that you were talking about earlier. The Suplex City match were basically a squash match, even though it was a championship match. But with all that being said, I do believe that John Cena is going to win this match. But I think there's going to be a lot of after story. I do think that the Vision is going to intervene after the match, and the 3 of them are going to do a brutal beatdown of Cena. And my only uncertainty is who is going to come and assist John Cena. Now, imagine if that was The Rock. How cool would that be? I don't think it's going to happen, but I think whoever runs in to help Cena, that's going to be the next Cena match. Is going to be Cena and whoever this person is against the Vision.
That's interesting. Well, what if, because there's one guy I didn't mention, and he's faced Cena. He's not on the card. And what about Roman Reigns?
Nah.
No? Because we know Roman's going to have to start his journey to get to Seth. We know that's going to happen. We know that's going to be down the line. But Roman's got to get through the other members of the Vision to get to him. And that's going to be a long-term story because right now it's Seth and Punk. That's the story they're telling. But they're going to go back to Roman. And this might be a way of getting Roman in. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff at a wall. I'm just doing the old Vince Russo.
Yeah.
Seeing what sticks. But I think that I have no clue who's winning this matchup. I literally just put John Cena because I like John Cena.
Okay.
I do like Brock. Don't get me wrong. I like Brock. I just think that Brock has become a little too... He's not as exciting for me as he used to be at playing the big brute as he was when he was much more of an athletic big guy. And I get that age, time catches up with everybody, but Brock has like 2 moves.
Yeah.
That's 3 less than Cena. Right? You've got the suplexes and you've got the F5.
Right.
And it can be very boring.
Yeah.
To watch. But Brock shockingly has a lot of charisma that I didn't know he had. Right? Like you kind of forget that Brock can be a highly entertaining guy. And if he were to go back with Paul Heyman, I think it sets Brock up to be a major player in WWE until he decides to hang him up.
Yeah.
Which, according to Universal, might not be too far down the road, considering he turns. Well, what does it say?
He's 48 as of 2 months ago.
Right,
and then
48.
Yeah, he's had 6 televised matches with Brock and John Cena, and he's won 4 of them.
Right,
and then their last match was in 2014.
Yeah,
So,
but I am
11 years.
I am kind of a sucker. I'll admit, I had my moments during the years where I was not a big John Cena fan. Had nothing to do with Cena outside of WWE, because what Cena was doing with the Make-A-Wish, I've always been highly respectful and have always been in awe of that and how amazing that work was. But a lot of the Super Cena stuff I just didn't like. I just thought it was too much. The match at SummerSlam with Cena's team versus the Nexus, I thought was a terrible booking decision. He's down like 2 or 3 to 1 for his team. He's given a DDT, I believe, on the outside the ring on the concrete. They actually moved the padding, hit him with a DDT on the concrete. Dude should have been like halfway dead.
Mm-hmm.
He still comes back and wins the match. That's the John Cena I didn't care for. But since he's come back and really done a great job of helping get talent over, such as WrestleMania 39 when Seth, UI, and Owen were there, John Cena got Austin Theory over. And then it's WWE really dropped the ball on Austin Theory. He got Solo Sikoa over. John Cena was helping get other guys over.
Right.
And then I kind of got nostalgic about certain Cena moments and Cena, promos, and I started getting into John Cena all over again. And I think a lot of people have, and that's why I don't have a problem with Cena winning tonight. I don't have a problem with Cena winning his last match, but the only thing I don't want is I don't want WWE to book Cena into a last match against somebody where the loss would affect their ability to get over and move forward in the future.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could see Cena Lesnar having been a last match. I could see Cena Rock being a last match.
Mm-hmm.
But I could even see Cena and Punk being a last match. I could have seen Cena and Edge, but obviously that's not going to happen. But Cena has had a lot of great. I think Cena Triple H would have been great if Triple H could have stepped back in the ring. Triple H or Cena and Michaels, but I don't want to see either Triple H or Shawn Michaels step into a ring for their own sake.
Yeah.
For their own sake. All right, guys, that's it for our predictions for WWE's Wrestlepalooza 2025. I'm saying 2025 on it because I kind of like the name. It was an ECW pay-per-view, and I'd love to see Wrestlepalooza be a yearly deal.
Yeah.
Kind of commemorate that first appearance on ESPN every year with Wrestlepalooza. And I just like the name. I think it's cool. All right, but before we go, Seth, what do you got coming up? Anything we need to be excited about? Anything the Sims Nation needs to know?
I have joined my first official engineering competition.
That's right. And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have to build a car that can do the fastest 6-yard dash, can do a 3-yard, 6-yard, 3-yard shuffle, and then can automatically by itself maneuver around a bunch of cones the fastest. And it's for a Chargers game. So it has to be a Chargers-themed car.
Oh, so that explains the 3D printed stuff I saw.
Yes, that's why I have a helmet, a Chargers logo, and 2 goalposts.
They're very, very cool.
Yeah. Winner gets $5,000 funded to their class.
Wow.
Along with first place gets, I believe, on the field seats, along with an announcement of their win.
Wow.
Second place and third place both get other seats sectioned on the stadium as well.
Dude, please place.
Well,
and then take me with you.
we are 2-time champions right now, going for 3 this year.
Oh man, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and we also have some of the previous winners. We have blueprints from them that can help inspire us as well.
That's very, very cool.
So we're really going for it this year.
Awesome. Benny, what do we got to look forward to? I know you got a show later today, but what else we got to look forward to from Benny here on WANT and on YouTube?
Well, immediately following this show, we headed to the gym. Today is leg day, and I, like you, are a member of the 500-pound squat club, but that's not going to happen today.
Oh,
I'm pretty much down to high reps, lower weight.
right.
But I still love doing it. I wouldn't even try to do something like that now. But 3:00 Eastern time today, Benny the Jet. The name of my show. All my shows are themed. It is called The Five Senses. So I'm playing every song that I play will have either see, hear, smell, touch, or feel. Or what did I miss? I know I missed something here, but the 5 senses.
Right. Very, very cool. Benny's got great stuff, guys. Don't sleep on it. Get over there. Check it out. Benny, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
The Playa Entertainment Network.
There you go. Go, guys.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes, please get on over there. Check it out. And finally, our PCW Diamond Standard. Doc, tell us about what you got coming up and the exciting things coming your way.
We've got Villain Season. I hope you can see it from the glare. My new album available wherever you stream music for. Just look for my name, Dr. Haywood. Right there. I'm the only artist on the music world named Dr. Haywood. Easy to find. Check it out. And today at noon Pacific, PCW Limelight is steaming up. The feud between me, the executive producer of PCW Limelight, and commentator and the owner of the company, Zach Primetime Reed. Things are coming to a head between us. Zach's been abusing his power. I've been trying to check it. We've got matches between Dickie Dakin and Ultimo Jaguar, the luchador sensation. Sergio Santana's in action. And, of course, a tag match between Bad News Blakesley and Zach Primetime Reed versus Big Don Stockton and Sin. And Seth just messed up the Phantom Zone wherever he's been banished to. But like I said, you are not going to want to miss this episode of Limelight. Really, the next couple months of Limelight are going to be pretty wild as we gear up to Off the Chain in October.
So,
wow.
Our apologies for anyone wondering what happened. So Seth was just sitting there, and our cat decided to love up on the ring light.
I need a replay.
And the ring light fell over into my camera tripod.
Yeah.
Knocking my camera like, thank you, Diamond. You little turd.
I need a replay on that.
Oh, you named your cat after me. The Diamond Standard,
Sure.
and your cat is named Diamond.
Sure, let's go with that. Let's go on this the day of my birthday.
On the Batman Day.
On Batman. On Batman Day.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what we got coming up here? Don't know. I honestly planned everything out through this show. And it was just like, I'm not going to think about anything else because I'm just going to enjoy my birthday weekend, enjoy Batman Day, enjoy Wrestlepalooza, and then I'll figure it all out from there.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what our next Honest Review is going to be. I have no idea if we're going to have a guest or not on Warriors Unleashed, and no clue what the next Positively Pat Sims is going to be. All we know for sure is Doc will not be a part of it. Because Doc has said...
Just for that, you should honest review the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I have no problem doing that. But Doc, you told me you weren't going to be available till after October.
I'm not. Unfortunately, October booked solid for PCW. We've got Off the Chain. We're going to be in Stockton at the port doing a Boots and Brews Fest. Then we've got a Rock and Wrestling at Hooligans Pub. I'm hoping They let me perform the single off my next album, Haywood Does Halloween, called Docula, but they said no lip syncing, so I don't know.
Crazy. For anybody that jumped onto the show because they tuned into WANT and we just weren't there, we tried. We want to give our apologies to WANT, Ken and Wendy. Apologize we weren't able to get on. We jumped on, but our audio feed, there was a technical difficulty, which could be anything from the program I used to iOS 26 that recently came out. There's so many different things that it could have been, and that's going to take time for me to figure out, which I'll have done by next week.
Yeah.
So, guys, I want to thank everybody for jumping on to our Wrestlepalooza preview show. Don't forget, we also have an album available on streaming platforms. It's not singing yet. I am recording songs and stuff as we speak, but we have our comedy album that's available right now called Off to a Good Start. It basically celebrates, there it is, the first 2 years that the Positively Pat Sims was on the air, where we were almost exclusively on WANT. So we did a lot of comedy sketches. We did a lot of things that were really
The Sounds
fun.
of Seth.
Right. We have the Sounds
That's
of
the
Seth.
best one there. That's the best thing you'll find.
And 3 of my favorite things we ever did are available right now on YouTube to watch. And that is, we did The War of the Worlds. We recreated that. We did The Shadow People, another radio drama. And I did a one-man performance of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
What about the sausage game that we played?
That is a different channel. That's not even the Positively Pat Sims Show.
It should be, because that's so funny.
Yes, there's this sausage game where you battle with sausages on forks.
Hold on.
It's highly inappropriate looking.
Let
But
me
also
pull
on
it up.
Spotify. No, stop.
Why not?
Also, stop.
I didn't.
Also on Spotify, we have the Positively Pat Sims shows for audio only listening. So if you're in your car, if you're driving around and you want to hear Warriors Unleashed, you want to hear honest reviews, or you want to listen back to any of our Positively Pat Sims shows, go to Spotify and you'll find Positively Pat Sims and you'll find all our shows there to listen to. We upload them every Monday. So anything from the week before, Monday, you can turn around and you can listen to any of the shows that we have. So that's going to do it for us here on the Positively Pat Sims Show. We want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to close things out. Seth, we're going to let Doc help us out because he won't be here for a while. We're going to close it out the way we always do for this show. Take it easy. And if it's easy.
And hey, if it's easy, take it twice.
That was
And if it's easy.
That was-
And if it's easy.
That was so well done. Take it easy, guys. So long. Have a great rest of your day. And we will see you next week on the Positively Pat Sims Show. Hopefully on WANT Radio and right here on YouTube. See you later, guys.
Ugh.